Only by temporary complex intellect, liberation, salvation is needed, forever. Only the temporary complex intellect can be impartial to oneself and be fair to oneself. One can get acquainted with one's own permanent form, with every intellect to understand himself in a sensual manner. Is handicapped, and when faced by one's own permanent form, one becomes completely handicapped to live because only intellect is lived by being intelligent. In only one aspect of the two aspects can be completely Ray, if only I can Ray. I am the only such thing. Ever since man has come into existence in the whole universe, till now my Guru will be the only special thing in the whole creation, the things which I have nowhere else in the universe, whose main famous slogan was, like Sahib Ji, the truth cannot be the whole of lies. There was knowledge but Guru Maryada is such a practice. The qualities have to be burnt to ashes, the temporary complexity has to be eradicated itself, then being fair to oneself, faces one's own permanent nature and stays in reality forever by one cannot come to the general personality because all the options have stopped, themselves have stopped. Being wise with the temporary complex intellect, my Guru has established all the eternal infinite vast material creation and I have been fair to myself by completely exercising my own temporary complex intelligence, in order to be aware of myself, my love has done itself. By executing the temporary complex intellect, he made himself fair with himself, and the Guru got himself exposed to the word initiation, depriving him of the logic facts and deprived of the facts and raised the empire, the fame of fame, Daulat Beg drowned in the Beg itself. The ego is in the throes of influence in itself from the temporary imagination due to the ego. On the basis of my principles, the time has come into existence to go from the temporary subtle to the vastness, and when the time has come into existence, when the existence of time comes from the vastness to the subtlety, due to the end of the existence of time. It is enough, just like strength is needed to throw the hair above, but the time is reduced to come back, just as it is necessary to grow up. The determination, choice, thinking, contemplating time is the need of the hour, but to get acquainted with one's own permanent form. At the same time, the existence of time ends. One who understands himself and did not become fair to himself without exercising his own intelligence and did not get acquainted with his permanent nature, he is doing anything on the basis of my principles, he only wants to live in life. Doing it only for supply and not doing anything, the biggest temporary complex intelligence tendency is only fame, reputation, wealth, wealth, it is lost in it. I die by being lost in it. I am deeply serious about everything of my Guru's speeches. I used to try to understand myself by taking it down inside me. I always used to notice that the Guru used to say that hardly someone of mine was always that seriousness. Maybe the Guru's words were limited to only saying, there can be many reasons for me to get on it completely. The effort was, my Guru, being the best person with celibacy, was rich in the complete knowledge of all religions and the most sons of his parents were the best disciples of his Guru. It was believed to be higher than the truth that in the honorable personality, it was such that the common personality is higher from my point of view. If he is pure, then because in him he shows the possibility of being exposed to his own permanent form, but with Guru Diksha, all those things from the word proof. The reason behind the seeming impossible is that logic, being deprived of facts, remains like a parrot, loses the ability to understand, then gets ready to die, in which the Guru's direct empire standing by standing the empire, fame, reputation, wealth bag is found. When you are intelligent with a temporary complex intellect, you get a complete treasure of temporary elements. From that, understanding yourself from the imagination of the intellect is a mental disease, from which no one can come out alive. This is included in the nature of the Guru people. Considering the world as ignorant, they believe in the imagination of their temporary complex intelligence, because they have established themselves in the universe of temporary elements. Being intelligent with temporary complex intelligence, I have established myself in the creation of temporary elements. I have ended my existence by having immense love for the Guru. By understanding oneself by doing, by expelling one's own intellect, being impartial to oneself and being fair to oneself, I am in reality forever living forever. Whoever could not do whatever he could not do in any time era, he has done everything in just one moment. By understanding, one can understand, the second one is less, the past is less, the past is lost. What is it like to be fair with oneself and live in reality by being in reality? By being intelligent with the intellect, no one can think. By being intelligent with a temporary complex intelligence, who many past personalities have written that you have described the book in the books. It is not like that. The point of view of all of them is around the temporary complex intelligence. These are the nature of the fund of temporary complex intelligence. The memory of the temporary complex intelligence, being intelligent from the temporary complex intellect. The last level is the Aham Brahmasmi, which is a mental disease which can affect the whole world with its scramble, and can make its own anarchy, unless it is fair to itself and does not get acquainted with its own permanent nature. Then it should be understood only in the general personality. Keep the tax limited to only one opinion. Don't believe it, because with initiation, by making a slow intellect blind devotee supporter, fanatic devotees prepare human bombs, whose remute only that guru would have only one message by which he was always ready to kill all of them. While living in reality, my main goal is to be in the form of self-reality, in the form of a feeling with the soul in the heart of every living being. And every person is living here with the protection of nature. While living here with the protection of nature, the imaginary heaven is a mortal world, and even from the golden age of the past, trillions of times higher than being able to create a true environment directly, capable of creating a true environment. I am the best of all, even though simple, easy to use. For this only understand oneself, or to understand the rising voice of one's conscience, or understand me. It is the same thing. If I am of nature. If we do not do the rules, then the existence of human nature will end from the earth, only within 10 Pandra 10, because the elevated system of nature, who became intelligent with temporary complex intellect, knowledge science has not given the choice, both have not given a lot of thought. This is the temporary complex intelligence of being intelligent from the temporary complex intelligence. Bala man has lived many times on other planetary constellations. I understand it very much and understand it very much. Today on those planetary constellations, the qualities of all the elements have become busy, so I am warning, because I am not in the science of knowledge, I am only in the science of knowledge, I am only serious. I am in the feeling of being, in the feeling of every living being's heart. I make you feel right and wrong, but every person ignores that feeling of mine and starts looking for alternatives by becoming intelligent with temporary complex intelligence. For me there is no meaning of good and bad. The attitude of the head can be, the system of nature Nizam only creates the possibility of shortening the time on the basis of perseverance, which is called willpower. Realistic theory is only alive while living in that one permanent axis form. Such a wonderfully surprising understanding that from the existence of the universe to the complete understanding of one's own permanent axis. It is for the hare to have a curiosity to get acquainted in a permanent way. The guru disciple, who is intelligent with temporary complex intellect, who takes initiation on the same plate and locks it in word proof, deprived the logic facts and is deprived of the facts of the blind believer, of only blind believer sheep. Millions of hardcore thinking people are standing in the line. They are mentally ill with only temporary complex intelligence. The product of complex intelligence is the product of complex intelligence. All the remaining crores of many species are present in the universe, which is living a natural life, except one human species which was always confused in every era, and the other kept corrupting nature too. On the basis of my principles any simple person understands himself. Be fair to yourself. Be fair to yourself and face one's own permanent form. Only living can live in reality forever. There is absolutely nothing to do, not only a moment's distance of understanding. For others, the exciter has been inquisitive for ages and centuries. Being intelligent with complex intelligence, not only the curiosity of being exposed to one's own permanent form has not only grown, since a moment has come into existence and nothing has been found. Till today the search continues even today. By becoming intelligent with temporary complex intelligence, only temporary fame has been established. For fame, wealth, by creating a Chakravya from Shadians, by making deceit and deceit, they are capable of robbing simple and pure people with their temporary complex intelligence. A trap is that by giving initiation, depriving the logic facts by depriving them of logic facts, looting by making blind devotees, taking the money of crores of people in time, breathing in time, and liberation is just a big hypocrisy after death. In the word proof that no question can be asked, the demerit has also come into existence only by the personalities of the past, which till date the belief tradition has come into existence. It has been going on in the form till today, which supports only the word guru. The disciples always robbed only in the name of Rab Parmarth Karma Pravda in every era. The business continues till today in the Chakni of heaven, the ultimate man, the immortal world. The true principle is only alive starts the liberation of liberation because no one is able to interfere in death. Salvation is needed in life. For this, one can become impartial to himself by being impartial to himself by executing only the temporary complex intelligence, is completely handicapped to understand himself with each intellect and life when he is exposed to his own permanent nature. One becomes completely handicapped to pervade because one is lived only by being intelligent with intelligence. In only one aspect of both the aspects can be completely ray. If I am the only one like this, in the whole universe since man has come into existence since then till now. Till my guru will be something special in the whole creation, the thing which I have nowhere else in the universe, whose main famous slogan was there, as Sahib Ji could not have anywhere. The truth was complete knowledge of lies, but Guru Maryada is such a practice. I had only loved the Guru infinitely, so love dignity, belief, tradition, completely refutes the rule. Love is such a fire. First one has to burn his own temporary elements by burning virtues, to erase the temporary complexity himself. It falls, then, being impartial to himself, becomes aware of himself and stays in reality forever, cannot come into the common personality because all the options have been closed. My guru, being intelligent with his own temporary complex intellect, made temporary all the temporary. I have established myself in the infinite vast material creation and I have been fair to myself by completely exercising my own temporary complex intellect. Immediately got himself face to face, and the guru, deprived of logic facts, by depriving him of logic facts, raised the empire. Fame, reputation was drowned in fame, wealth, due to which important pride, due to egoism, due to ego, temporary imagination in itself they are in the virtues of themselves, who did not become fair to themselves without exercising their own intelligence and did not become aware of themselves in their permanent form. They are doing anything, on the basis of my principles. They are only for the supply of living desires. He is doing nothing and is not doing anything. The biggest temporary complex intelligence tendency is only fame, reputation, wealth. He dies only by getting lost in him. On the basis of my principles, temporary subtlety knows the vastness from the temporarily. For the time has come into existence. When the existence of time comes from the vastness to the subtlety, the attraction of the value is enough, just as force is needed to throw the hair above, but the time for coming back is reduced, just as time is reduced to the vastness of the vastness. Resolution, thinking, contemplation is the need of time, but with one's own permanent nature, time ceases to exist, the existence of time ends. My guru's sermons were strongly imitated. I always used to keep in mind that the guru used to say that hardly someone was of mine, always that seriousness. Perhaps the guru's words were limited to only saying, there can be many reasons. I tried to get down on it completely. My guru was trying to be the best person with celibacy. Along with this, all religions were rich in the full knowledge of the organization, were the most sons of their parents, were the best disciples of their guru, were the best of their 20 lakh sangat, but I had considered them to be millions of times higher than the word Rab. That in the honorable personality itself, I had considered them to be true. The behavior was such that from my point of view, the common personality is high and true. If they are pure, then because in it they show the possibility of getting acquainted with their permanent nature. But the reason behind all that seems impossible with the word proof along with the guru's initiation is that the reason behind the faction is that the logic facts. Being deprived and remains like a parrot, he loses the ability to understand, he gets angry, then he gets ready to die. in which the kingdom of the guru is directly established by standing in the kingdom of fame, wealth, self-willing, intelligent with temporary complex intelligence. When one gets the complete treasure of temporary elements, it is a mental disease to understand the dominance in oneself from the imagination of the intellect, from which no one can come out alive. The guru is included in this tendency of the people, behind considering the whole world as ignorant, behind his temporary complex intelligence. Imagination is recognized, because they have established themselves in the creation of temporary elements, being wise with temporary complex intelligence. I have lost my existence by loving the guru with immense love and understanding himself by understanding himself by understanding himself. I am in reality by being fair to myself by doing my own permanent form. I have been alive forever. Whoever could not do it in any time era. I have done everything in just one moment. Understanding myself, the second one can understand that someone else understands the age of centuries. The past is lost. What is it like to live in reality by being impartial to oneself, by being intelligent with intellect? No one can think. By being intelligent with temporary complex intelligence, which many past personalities have written, you have written in your books. It is not like that at all. The attitude of all of them is only around the temporary complex intelligence. These are the nature of the memory fund of temporary complex intelligence. The last level of attitude, being intelligent from the temporary complex intellect, is Aham Brahmasmi, which is a mental disease. Scramble can affect the whole world, and make your own, until you are fair to yourself and do not face your own permanent nature. Then consider it only in the general personality and limit it to only one opinion. Don't consider it as a teacher, because with initiation, by making a slow-witted blind devotee supporter, the fanatical devotees prepare human bombs, whose remit only has a message with only that guru, by which all of them are always ready to kill. My main goal is to live in reality together with each living being. I am an image of my own permanent nature in the form of a feeling with a conscience in the heart, and every person is able to create a true environment more than the imaginary heaven, immortal world and the golden age of the past, while living here with the protection of nature. I am the best of all. Within the 10th century, because knowledge science, who have been intelligent with temporary complex intelligence to the best system of nature, both have not gone far ahead. These same people who are intelligent with temporary complex intelligence have lived on other planetary constellations many times. I understand it very well and understand it. Today on those planetary constellations, the qualities of all the elements have been disturbed, because I am warning, neither I am in the science of knowledge, I am only in the feeling of seriousness, perseverance, the feeling of each living being's heart, even though I make me feel right and wrong. But every person ignores that feeling of mine and starts looking for alternatives by becoming intelligent with temporary complex intelligence. For me, good and bad does not mean. It can only be the point of view of human head, nature's system nizam, only perseverance. On the basis of severity, small taxes arise from time, which is called willpower. Apart from oneself, every other thing, the word, the soul is only with the tendency to serve selfish interests. Temporary elements, qualities, it is better to adopt the same personality to establish itself in the creation, if understanding yourself and being aware of one's own permanent form. If Nirmal is impartial to himself, he has a passion for being self-realized, then he has to completely exterminate one's own temporary complex intelligence. Anyone can do it. It is very simple and necessary, because the intellect is also very simple and necessary. Because the intellect is also very simple and necessary. Because the intellect is also very simple and necessary. Like one of the main parts of the body, do not use the body itself. Live by being pure from the heart. If you are intelligent from intelligence, more complexity increases. Be clear. Be comfortable. Temporary complex intelligence and heart are not even recognized. Then by which principle different from many other species, if you believe it on the basis, then all those other species are doing the process of Bali, all the time, day and night. Only diet, sexual activity, sleep should be done every moment in fear. Which the guru, completely exercising his own temporary complex intellect and being impartial to himself by being impartial to himself, didn't get acquainted with a permanent form. He can't be a guru. he is only a hypocrite refandi business bali to wave who only makes me famous for fame, 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 wealth, from the past to now in the whole universe. Till now there is only one guru who has come to know of his own permanent form, or if anyone has faith in any one disciple, then tell me.